again, I am doing my project on family violence and abuse. Why is family abuse so important? So, abuse and violence are one of the most concerning challenges that families face today. This can happen between a spouse, parent or child, or other family member. Family abuse impacts all families and society altogether. So, here are some quotes. On a typical day, there are more than 2,000 phone calls placed to domestic violence hotlines nationwide. Growing evidence shows the pandemic has made an intimate partner violence more common and often more severe. So, some findings that are relating back to family violence and abuse. So, family violence is on the rise. It has always been a problem, but some abusers do not report their abuse because intimate partner violence, or IPV, has significant long term effects on an individual, victims, and on society. So, this comes from the textbook itself that we use for the class. And in the picture at the bottom, reason abuse is unreported, table 14.3, that's where I got it from the textbook. And findings part 2. So this relates back to our islands. On a typical day, local domestic violence hotlines receive approximately 19,159 calls and average approximately 13 calls every minute. So that is for nationwide. But in a single day in Hawaii, 2019, 52% of the state's domestic violence programs serve 578 adults and children, and 58 of those requests for help went unmet due to the lack of resources. Theory and concepts. So, for theory, the conflict theory focuses on the power hierarchy in the family. Instead of viewing the family image as a safe haven, it is instead an area where endeavors can occur. And some concepts. So, for social stratification, the factors like wealth that tie into the power and hierarchy of a family. Sociologists recognize social stratification is a system that makes inequalities evident. And for Moores, in context of violence in some cultures and societies, it is either the norm or not the norm. Here in the US, it is not the norm to be violent with your family and could cause major consequences such as jail time. On a macro and micro level, so at a macro level, the government should place more facilities or ways families can get individual help they need mentally and physically in every part of the state. At a micro level, some family members may be afraid or can't speak up about the situation because of the abuser. And sometimes we see this in our daily lives, such as here on the islands. We may know people from either school, work, or even within our own families who have a difficult time expressing how they feel. They'll probably let you know or let other people know how they feel, but don't actually act upon getting the help they need. So people need to recognize this in their personal lives or someone else's and should offer assistance or look for assistance. And so, for a government point of view, for a macro level, there are laws and there are ways that we can help other people that we know who are facing abuse within the family. So, if you are in a crisis, contact the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE 7233 or the website www.thehotline.org. And the main resource call center and websites designed to help those who know or are suffering from abuse is https nacdv.org/resources. And so for this website, there are specific resources pertaining to Hawaii, and so you can check that up on the website. And there are more statistics and resources for every other state within the US. So um, the main research call center and websites right below here have a lot of resources and call center websites. So the list goes on and on. So definitely check that out just to kind of look for it. And that is my project. Thank you so much.